So 5 years ago, Transition Town Marlow planted 25 fruit trees across Seymour Park. So this is Seymour Park Recreation Ground in the photo. And there are 25 trees there. Obviously, there's one in the foreground. Transition Town Marlow is a community response to climate change and sustainability. And the idea is we are trying to make a more resilient community, resilient to the problems brought about, the multitude of problems that are being brought about and will be brought about by climate change. One of them, obviously, is local food production. And just being able to go to your local park and pick some apples, to eat some apples rather than going and buying them. The project actually became much bigger than just the production of apples in the local park. It was a major sort of bringing together of the community. We had 50 people come out and plant the trees. It was in January because it's best to plant in the middle of the winter, and it was raining and it was cold, but still 50 people came out with their spades and their forks and their gardening gloves and their mats. And we together planted these trees. Many different facets to getting 50 people together to plant 25 different trees. Not least, how many ways do you think you've got to dig a hole to plant a tree? I kind of thought there was only the one, you just dig a hole, put the tree in it, etc. It turns out there are about 50 different ways of digging a hole. So it was great opportunity for bringing people together and for people to recognize that, yes, we have differences, but we can still all work together. And yeah, there were different holes being dug, but all the trees got planted. And as you can see, they were nearly all very successful. One didn't make it. We have replaced some of them. We've done another 6 tree planting this last winter to replace some of the ones that were lost. Some of them had been vandalized. Only one had actually died, and just increased the number just very, very slightly. Again, it was a big bringing together of the community. The funding for it came from Transition Town Marlow. Transition Town Marlow makes its money from the market predominantly. We do get some donations, but most of it's from the market, which I'll talk about next. As an ongoing project, we do have work parties. At the moment, they're fairly intermittent. Anyone who'd like to get involved in a work party, do please contact me via the website, transitionmarlow.org. I'll happily involve you in pruning them, cleaning underneath them, cleaning away weeds, and we very kindly get given tree, wood chip from New Leaf, who is he's a local tree surgeon. He gives us wood chip, and we spend hours moving this wood chip around, minutes, putting it at the bottom of the trees. So those are the kind of physical activities that are ongoing. Anyway, so that's the Marlow Community Orchard. And secondly, I was going to talk to you about Marlow Market. Transition Town Marlow has been set up and operates around a number of different projects. Obviously, some of you came last week, and I can see we've got more participants than we had last week, so some of you must be newcomers to it. So we covered some of the projects that we had last week. We looked at the Repair Cafe, and was there something else we talked about last week? Oh, the Wombles, Marlow Wombles. So it's very much project-based. So if there's a need in Marlow and someone would like to do a project, we very much welcome people to come along, suggest the project, and often different people who are already involved in Transition Town Marlow will join, and sometimes we get other new people coming in and joining the project, so you need a number of people to get a project going. And one such project was Marlow Market. So as you can see, our projects are very varied and very diverse. Marlow Market came about because there was a very small farmers market happening, and it stopped completely. It dwindled away and disappeared. We created the community market first of all in Liston Hall, and that went on for about, I think it was nearly 5 years, 4.5 years or something. And then we moved to a bigger market at the bottom of the causeway. So this is on the causeway at the bottom of the high street, Marlow High Street. It's on the first Saturday of every month. And the general principles are that it's local food producers. So again, multifaceted in its benefit to the Marlow community. It provides a lovely place for people to go and shop and buy local food producers. It provides an opportunity for you to actually speak directly to people who are producing the food. So it's very clear exactly where this food has come from. Obviously, there's lower food miles because food produced locally is very much better. Some of it is like, for instance, Marlow cheese, for instance, is produced, they use the milk from Lacey's farm just down the road, and then they make the cheese just down the road again in Medmenham. So it's pretty much, that's pretty much as local as you get. We also have local lamb, which is again local farmer producing rare breed lamb, etc. But there are many more. There are, in total, we have about 30 stalls. Currently, there are only 20 because of our social distancing factors that we've had to take into account. Other benefits of the Marlow community market, the Marlow market, sorry, is that it provides a place for people to get together and meet other people. Just say hello to your neighbours. Come down. You'll be surprised at how many people you might know if you come down to the market. You might end up having a takeaway paella or something with them. And then I have mentioned, obviously, it is a fundraiser for us. That wasn't our first idea. That wasn't the first principle of it, but it's been a benefit because it does provide a small trickle of funds into Transition Town Marlow, and that money can be used for instance, Nick's great relief project. Some of the money is earmarked for that already. I think I've pretty much covered everything on the Marlow market. I'll leave anything else for questions at the end if you do want to, if you want to